Hey, good morning. Kevin Stone O'Brien, moneyiswar.com, here with you to talk about your money. So the premise is that you're a member of the 99%, and the downward pressure since the mid-70s has eroded your quality of life and your ability to make decisions based upon your economic welfare, and that although life is good in the United States for most of us, if you compare it to, say, cavemen, or the pharaohs even, that didn't have running water, they could order men to go die and have many wives, but they had countless riches, but they didn't have a car. They didn't have YouTube. Anyway, so we live well, but do we live good? Or we live good, but do we live well? Is it well enough if you know that you're being taken advantage of? Now, let me be clear, this is not going to be a rant of a victim, but I do want to get your attention right from the beginning and suggest that you're not doing as well as you ought to be for two reasons. One, you bought into the American dream bullshit story that lasted for, depends, 40 years, maybe 50, but it's not happening anymore. My parents are the last people retiring on the American dream, and by the skin of their teeth, now God bless them, they worked their asses off and pulled it together, managed to find a way to cobble together a retirement from the standard, let's go to work, let's take, what used to be pensions, and then it became 401ks, and now they're, that were heavily matched, and now they're barely matched, if at all, and the stock market is like going to Vegas. So, it's not what it was. So what I'm here to say is that time to put on the big boy, big girl pants and review the situation. So I don't know how well you're doing. I'm probably a half year from having to burn it all to the ground. That's not awesome. It's maybe better than some. It's definitely better than the people that are homeless. We shouldn't forget about anybody from top to bottom. We should talk about the society that we're building. We should be Americans before we're affiliated with a political party or any subgroup. And we should care about all of our citizens and what does it mean? What are we doing together? Is there a purpose to being an American other than we're afraid that somebody's going to drop a bomb on us and we've got the biggest gun, so let's stand behind that? Right? So what's the purpose? Anyway, it starts at home. You got to take care of your kids, your significant other, wife, husband, however that's working. We owe it to our nuclear family to begin with, and then we expand from there. So, that maybe sounds like a contradiction to when I said we should be an American before we're a Republican or a Democrat, or a member of the John Birch Society, or that we like to race bikes. I don't think it's contradiction. Our responsibilities start with a level that we can match, and our associations should go to as big as we can reach. So we've established some stability as a nation over a couple hundred years, become the largest financial and military empire that history knows about. So where do we go from here? Well, a lot of it depends on where each of us goes individually. So I'm going to try and be precise in some of the things that I say, and so I'm going to be reading from some things I've prepared, because left to my own devices, I will ramble, and I'd like to be clear about what I intend to be addressing on this channel and why I consider money to be war. So let's talk about the problem in a nutshell, if I can, real briefly, and then I'll talk about positions and purpose. So the problem is that you've got one customer. You show up, you do a great job for your employer, that's your customer, and they like you and they keep paying you. If something happens to their business where they're forced to lay you off, or they become unhappy with you for either reasons of your creation or not, you're subject to dismissal. And in Washington, it's an at-will state. There doesn't have to be a reason. It can just happen. I work in tech, and it has. And the times that it's happened the quickest, I had been being well, not extremely well, but well compensated, but the end came quickly. I was working as a contractor, and so you say, yep, you're taking those risks, and I was. So as I said at the beginning, this is not a victim channel, but it is a channel where I intend to discuss what are better options, right? Because I made it through, but close calls a couple of times, you know. Maybe go into some of those stories sometime, but that's not the purpose of this show, the first show. So you've got one customer, and your earnings are flat against GMP since the middle of the 70s. I'll produce that graphic. I don't have it right now. I know exactly where it is because it's saved. So there's a lot of money being made. There's a lot of extremely, well, a lot. There's a handful compared to the whole population of America of extremely wealthy people. They're pulling your lever every day. They are making the decisions that guide the course of our nation. You get to vote in local, state, and general elections, but I'm here to tell you that that vote may count briefly, but it's the money that funded those campaigns that drives the choices that are made once the butts are in seats. So this is a collective problem. It's not corrupt government. It's not evil business people. And it's not lazy citizenry. It's all the above. So pretty harsh words, but the main point is we're in it together. We are doing this together, and my main point is that you can do something about it for yourself. So the last thing I'll say briefly about the problem is that you're light right where you are. You're doing a great job. You're making a few people a lot of money. You're successful in helping them. I'm suggesting that you can help you and yours more effectively, and I'm going to state that that'll make America stronger and better prepared for the future than listening to the same old drivel about how the wealthy are the creators of jobs. It's known that small business, it's truly known, the fact is is that small business is a much better provider of new positions, new jobs, than large companies are. Don't listen to the baloney. Do your own research on that one. All right, just start. Just get it going. Don't worry if you know what you're doing even. Just start. All right, just start. Don't worry about your shirt. I did. I've already recorded this once. I had a blue shirt on. Now I've got a black shirt. I don't think it matters. If I am hitting my target market, which is the 99%, you're wearing all kinds of shirts. Blouses, skirts, pants, shorts, flip-flops, button-downs, Oxfords. You're wearing it all. So if my shirt matters, I'm not talking to the right group of people. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about positions and purpose. My positions is that there are financial forces as embodied in groups and individuals that seek to dominate you. Because those forces, that was 1. 2, because those forces have been very successful in doing so, you are not equal. 3, equality begins with financial equanimity. Until you achieve that, you are not equal in your abilities to influence outcomes in your daily life, which includes the quality of life that you can provide to your family and the business and governmental decisions that lead to life, death, liberty, and the ability to pursue happiness. 4, you have at your disposal everything that it takes to change that situation. 5, you owe it to yourself to make those changes that lead directly to a state of financial and thus influential equality. The purposes that I have in starting this channel, Money is War, are 1, to be a voice for the positions I just stated. 2, to grow a communicable and practical concept to describe the conditions and effects of financial inequality. 3, to engage my fellows who are currently not equal, that being the vast majority, to stimulate the change to financial equality for myself and others. 4, to present, evaluate, and discuss strategies and tactics that will enduringly create the conditions necessary to produce a desired state of financial equality. 5, to demonstrate progress towards these ends, thus compelling credulity, believability, in the methods for the purpose of further promulgating financial equality leading to personal and civil stability and well-being. Position and purpose. Billionaires gone wild. Let's just start right at the top. Here's the current event portion of this show today. The Trump Mar-a-Lago extravaganza. Is our newly elected president consciously marketing his private resort in Palm Beach County, or is he unwittingly just traveling there repeatedly and forcing other government officials to spend tens of thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of dollars to meet him in Florida? He's getting lots of free exposure, and the initiation fee to Mar-a-Lago just went up to $200,000. Unfortunately, I have yet to make $200,000 in a single year. Now, I'm going to work to change that, but so far I haven't done that. Melania and Barron cost a lot of money. Now, that was a personal decision. Should you and I be paying for that? I mean, we want to protect the first family. No matter what I think of the individual, I respect the office. So, yes, we want to protect them. But the man that has repeatedly told us how much money he has is better suited to paying his own personal bill for a decision that was made merely so that Barron could continue in the school he was in. Now, it's a decision that parents like myself have honored for my own children, but I paid for it. So should he. $12.1 million a year. Does that sound like a lot for travel? It's how much Barack Obama was spending while he was president for 8 years. So he got up to about $97 million for travel. Trump railed and ridiculed him for those expenditures. However, he's almost doubled that 1 year figure in about 2 months in office. 10 million in protection, 10 million to Mar-a-Lago, not counting the costs of senators and strategists and everyone else that has to fly to Florida to talk to him while he's down there. Palm Beach County, already about $1 million in hock to help provide extra security services that are required when the president is in attendance. That county's got a $40 million budget shortfall. Don't know what they've been doing. Mismanaging money like every other government agency. But like I said, we're doing it together. We voted the bums in. Should have voted them out before they spent all your money, right? And you should know who's actually pulling their lever and not let things like Citizens United get passed and stay in effect. If you believe that America is still a representative republic, it's not a democracy. Go look up the definition. But if you still believe that it's a government of and by and for the people, time we do something about that. And it's always been about the money. That's where it begins and ends. If the money's right, everything else will get sorted out. There's a lot of other problems, but I promise you, if you can stand equal financially with the vast majority of your peers without there being an oligarchical downward push that keeps you running and jumping to their tune, then I promise we can work everything else out. The money is the game. It's the lever that's been used against you, and it's time that you do something about changing for yourself. Kevin Stone O'Brien, Money is War. I'm out.